One of the biggest Hollywood stars of the 1970s has died. Ryan O'Neal, star of Love Story and Paper Moon, died in Los Angeles at the age of 82 years old.
This image of Ryan, Tatum, and her kids was the first family photo together in 17 years.
And I never would have imagined, I just adored her, that she'd leave me, that she'd take, she'd be disgusted with me and take off.
In the corridors of a Santa Monica hospital on the 8th of December, at the age of 82, the final curtain fell on the storied life of Hollywood's enigmatic figure, Ryan O'Neal, after a long battle with cancer. He lived a storied life, but even more intriguing are the alleged revelations from his family. For context on his death in 2001, O'Neal was diagnosed with chronic myelogenous leukemia. After struggling with leukemia in April 2012, O'Neal stated he had been diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer. He later stated it was stage 2. Following his death, Ryan's daughter, Tatum, expressed her grief over her father's death, saying, "I feel great sorrow with my father's passing. He meant the world to me. I loved him very much and know he loved me too. I'll miss him forever, and I feel very lucky that we ended on such good terms." The Little Darlings actress's statement came after her brother, Patrick O'Neal, shared news of their father's death on Instagram. In his tribute, the 56-year-old sports broadcaster said the Oscar-nominated actor passed away peacefully, calling him a Hollywood legend. Patrick added that although it was the toughest thing I've ever had to say, the Love Story talent had his loving team by his side supporting him at the time of his death. He continued grieving the loss, referring to his father as his hero, adding, "I looked up to him and he was always bigger than life." Mia Farrow, who co-starred with O'Neal on ABC's Peyton Place, also paid tribute on Instagram. "I was 18 when we made the pilot for Peyton Place. He was several years older than me, happily married to a gorgeous actress, Joanna Moore, and they had a new baby, Tatum. He was so confident and very, very funny," she wrote in a caption, alongside a photo of her and O'Neal. "There were times when he made me laugh so uncontrollably that we had to stop shooting," she continued. "He was my first very secret crush. I was so shy I could barely look at him." Barbra Streisand expressed her sorrow in a touching post as well. "So sad to hear the news of Ryan O'Neal's passing," she wrote on Instagram. "We made 2 films together, What's Up, Doc, and The Main Event. He was funny and charming, and he will be remembered." Piers Morgan, who interviewed O'Neal on CNN in 2011, wrote on X, "His performance in Love Story alone was iconic. Superb, proper movie star, complex guy." Morgan also shared a screenshot of a cheeky email O'Neal, whom the broadcaster called extraordinarily honest and emotional about his tormented private life, sent following their chat. "I wanted to let you know that following my interview with you, my recurring role on Bones has been written out, my agents won't return my calls, and the Malibu City Council has launched a drive to have me move out of the city," O'Neal quipped in the missive. Lee Grant, another co-star, wrote, "Impossible to believe that Ryan O'Neal is gone. I felt so welcomed by his Peyton Place, the first big production brave enough to welcome me back from the blacklist. An incredible talent, an incredible beauty, a gift of an artist we're lucky to have so much captured forever." Anyway, while kind sentiments poured in after Ryan's demise, his lifetime was marked by the unenviable tag of being deemed the worst father in Hollywood. Now, this might come as a shocker to many, but there are no excuses for O'Neal's shocking acts of violence and cruelty towards his family, certainly not any unhappiness in his own childhood. Far from being born into poverty, Patrick Ryan O'Neal was born with the proverbial silver spoon in his mouth. His father, Charles O'Neal, was a prosperous Hollywood screenwriter, and his mother, Patricia Callahan O'Neal, a relatively successful Hollywood actress. Ryan and his brother Kevin grew up on one of the most star-studded streets in Hollywood, Coldwater Canyon, boasting spectacular views of Los Angeles and the surrounding areas, later following his father to Germany, where he was running a radio station. But although he was pampered, protected, and well-educated, brawling was in Ryan's blood from the very outset. At 7, Ryan's father built him a boxing ring in their back garden, and as a boy, he fought in Catholic Youth Organization and Police Athletic League tournaments in Santa Monica, California, winning prizes for his skill and aggression. In the late 1950s, his father found work as a writer for the television series Citizen Soldier. The family relocated to Munich, where O'Neal attended Munich American High School. During his time in Germany, O'Neal faced academic challenges, prompting his mother to secure him a job as a stand-in on the locally shot show Tales of the Vikings. This experience, working as an extra and stuntman, ignited his interest in acting. Upon returning to the U.S., O'Neal embarked on his journey to become an actor. His television debut occurred in 1960, with a guest appearance on The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. He continued to make guest appearances on various shows, including The Untouchables, General Electric Theater, and The Virginian. Under contract with Universal, O'Neal became a regular on NBC's Empire from 1962 to 1963, playing Tal Garrett. In 1964, he landed the role of Rodney Harrington in the primetime serial drama Peyton Place, a series that catapulted him and the cast to national recognition. The show's success opened doors to movie opportunities for several cast members. O'Neal's first lead in a feature film came with The Big Bounce in 1969. The 1970s marked O'Neal's transition to film stardom. Love Story in 1970 became a blockbuster, making him a star and earning him accolades, although he was discontent with not receiving a share of the profits. He continued with a diverse range of projects, including What's Up, Doc? 1972, Paper Moon, 1973, and Barry Lyndon, 1975, the latter of which, despite critical acclaim in recent years, affected O'Neal's career negatively at the time. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, O'Neal faced a mixture of successes and failures in his film career. Despite a setback with Oliver Story in 1978, he appeared in The Main Event in 1979, a comedy alongside Barbra Streisand, and produced a documentary, The Contender. The following years saw fluctuations in O'Neal's career. He delved into various roles, including a lead in Fever Pitch and Tough Guys Don't Dance, both of which failed to resonate with audiences. From the late 1980s to 2017, O'Neal took on a variety of roles, balancing film and television appearances. He participated in TV specials, sitcoms like Good Sports in 1991, and films such as Faithful in 1996. His television presence continued with recurring roles in series like Bones, where he remained until 2017. In 2011, O'Neal attempted to reconcile with his daughter Tatum in the Oprah Winfrey Network series Ryan and Tatum, The O'Neals, but the effort reportedly left their relationship in a worse state. In 2016, O'Neal reunited with Ali MacGraw, his Love Story co-star, for a staging of A.R. Gurney's play Love Letters. The pair received stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2021, nearly 5 decades after the release of Love Story. But despite his exceptional talent in the realm of acting, sadly, as his children would later come to realize, he fell far short of being an equally remarkable father to them. With his successful career, O'Neal was a matinee idol, a magnet for beautiful women, and in 1963, he married one of them, actress Joanna Moore, mother of 2 of his children. On the surface, O'Neal and Moore were a golden couple, but underneath the glittering facade, Ryan's dark side was ready to erupt. And erupt it did, ending in him battering his hapless wife. Just 4 years later, they divorced. Within weeks, Ryan married again. Tatum and Griffin were initially dumped with their mother, but she proved unequal to the task of looking after them, and Ryan took custody. His second marriage was to actress Lee Taylor-Young, his co-star from Peyton Place, with whom he had a son. Despite their divorce in 1973, they remained friends, and Taylor-Young spoke warmly of O'Neal's character. From 1979 to 1997, O'Neal was in a tumultuous relationship with actress Farrah Fawcett, marked by infidelity and volatile behavior. The relationship endured ups and downs, including a period of separation after Fawcett discovered O'Neal with another actress. They reunited in 2001 and remained together until her passing in 2009. Reflecting on his early marriages, O'Neal remarked, "I got married at 21, and I was not a real mature 21. My first child was born when I was 22. I was a man's man. I didn't discover women until I was married, and then it was too late." He had various romances with notable figures, as detailed by Vanity Fair and his daughter Tatum O'Neal. O'Neal had 4 children, Tatum and Griffin with Moore, Patrick with Taylor-Young, and Redmond James Fawcett with Fawcett. Unfortunately, O'Neal faced estrangement from his 3 elder children for several years, acknowledging his struggles as a father. Tatum wrote about enduring physical and emotional AB due to her father's substance AB, while Griffin described their family problems as stemming from Ryan's AB-sive and uncontrollable behavior. "My father terrorized me, but Griffin was his real whipping boy," Tatum remembered in her memoirs. "Everything Griff did seemed to provoke my dad, especially winning at pool. Being an excellent pool player, my father insisted on worthy opposition, but he was also too competitive to tolerate losing. Then he'd often let loose with fists, and sometimes even with pool cues." Most of the time, I couldn't protect Griffin from my father. He was always covered with bruises, which he'd account for with crazy stories about falling downstairs with his hands in his pockets. But if the children cowered from his fists, they were also in thrall to his career. When Tatum was 10, O'Neal cast her as his precocious sidekick in Paper Moon, in which he played a confidence trickster. Her performance was so stellar that when she, and not her father, was nominated for an Academy Award, he hit her in a fit of jealousy. That, however, was not the worst of the AB he hurled down on the little girl, who once idolized him because, as she later termed it, he was so handsome, talented, and funny, and he was the guy in Love Story. I fell in love with him in a way. After she became the youngest person ever to win the Oscar, he turned her into his companion, inviting her to share a bed with him. Though there was no S element, it horrified Ryan's lovers, like James Bond star Ursula Andress, who was reportedly shocked at having to spend the night in the same bed as Ryan and his little daughter. For Tatum, though, it was just another aspect of her bizarre Hollywood childhood. I remained Ryan's companion on the Hollywood party circuit, growing inured to S and substances before I was in my teens, she later confessed. O'Neal's vicious temper wasn't improved by his own propensity for substance taking. When Tatum was by his substance dealer while still only in her teens, and complained to her father, Ryan, unwilling to relinquish his substance-fueled existence, even for his daughter, accused her of leading the substance dealer on, and kept him on his payroll. But worse was still to come. When in 1975 he played the title role in Stanley Kubrick's tour de force Barry Lyndon, O'Neal assumed that he was set for superstardom. Instead, the film disappeared without a trace, along with his Hollywood career, and once again, his children paid the price. He started getting crazy and more out of control, Tatum recalled. Sometimes the AB was blatant. At other times, it was more subtle. When she was aged 15 and feeling overshadowed by Farrah Fawcett, Ryan's new girlfriend, Tatum was told by her father that she needed to lose weight because she was looking fat. He advised her to snort nose candy, as that would suppress her appetite. And when, out of despair at such taunting, Tatum tried to commit by slashing her wrists, Ryan merely declared, "You cut the wrong way." It is hard to understand what would keep a young girl so enthralled to such an AB-sive parent. But the older she grew, the more Tatum saw her father for what he was, a violent bully. Finally, after she was late for a racquetball game and, in her words, he raised his fist and cold-cocked me right in the head, she cut all ties to him. If she hoped for a less volatile life ahead, she went the wrong way about it. In August 1986, she married tennis star John McEnroe, another man hardly associated with cool self-control. The marriage produced 3 children, and though Tatum and her father were eventually reconciled, she kept all contact between Ryan and her own children to a minimum. "I don't trust him," she declared. "It's no big secret in Hollywood that he has a temper, and my children are afraid of him. He hadn't been physically violent to them, but they've seen his temper against me, and they don't like it." And what of Griffin, Tatum's brother, who once took the brunt of his father's aggression? After his AB-sive childhood, he set out to follow in his father's footsteps in more ways than one. An actor, his career amounted to little more than a few B-movie appearances in films such as Assault of the K-er Bimbos. Like his father, he battled substances, and like him, he has left a trail of destruction behind him. On a public holiday in 1986, Griffin was driving a speedboat with Francis Ford Coppola's 23-year-old son, Giancarlo, as passenger. The boat crashed. Giancarlo was K.Ed, and a judge found Griffin guilty of reckless boating. Then, in 1992, he pleaded guilty to charges that he shot at his estranged girlfriend's unoccupied car. At the time, he agreed to spend a year in a substance rehab program and serve 5 years on probation. In 2007, O'Neal found himself entangled in a legal altercation that further strained the already tumultuous dynamics within his family. The incident involved an arrest for allegedly firing shots at his son, Griffin. O'Neal, however, maintained that the act was an act of self-defense, leading to the subsequent dropping of charges. The complexity of the O'Neal family saga became evident when O'Neal made the controversial decision to prevent Griffin from attending Farrah Fawcett's funeral in 2009. This exclusion added another layer of tension to an already fraught family relationship. Perhaps even more infamously, during Fawcett's funeral, O'Neal hit on Tatum, not realizing that she was his own daughter. This unsettling incident underscored the strained and sometimes disoriented nature of familial connections within the O'Neal clan. In an unexpected turn, 2011 saw a joint venture between Tatum and her father. They co-authored a book together, offering a glimpse into their complex relationship. This collaboration extended to the realm of television, where the father-daughter duo appeared on the TV show titled Ryan and Tatum, The O'Neals. This public exploration of their personal dynamics provided viewers with a front-row seat to the intricate interplay of emotions and challenges that define the O'Neal family. Later in the same year, a noteworthy family event unfolded. O'Neal, along with Tatum and another sibling, Patrick, found themselves attending the court appearance of Redmond, O'Neal's son, who faced legal consequences related to firearms and substance charges. This shared familial presence at a legal proceeding highlighted the ongoing struggles faced by various members of the O'Neal family. The narrative takes a particularly troubling turn when it comes to Redmond, who has grappled with substance addiction for the majority of his adult life. The year 2008 marked a significant chapter in this ongoing struggle when both O'Neal and Redmond faced arrest for substance possession within the confines of their Malibu residence. This shared legal entanglement further emphasized the deep-rooted challenges within the family unit. Subsequent years unfolded with Redmond continuing to battle against the clutches of substance addiction. In 2015, his probation was revoked, leading to a 3-year sentence within the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. The legal repercussions underscored the gravity of Redmond's struggles and the persistent efforts to address his ongoing challenges. Adding another layer of complexity to the narrative, 2018 witnessed Redmond's arrest on charges of attempted robbery, assault, and substance possession. The alleged incident involved an attempted robbery at a convenience store in Santa Monica. In a revealing interview from jail, Redmond laid blame for his struggles squarely on his parents. He told Radar Online, "It is not substances that have been a problem. It's the psychological trauma of my entire life. My whole life experiences have affected me the most." He added that fights with his father and being kicked out and living on the streets have contributed to his struggles, including going to jail, being put in a psychiatric ward, being embarrassed all the time. "The pressure that came with that set off a time bomb in my head," Redmond said of his celebrity parents. "I never asked for any of this. I never wanted any attention." In any case, in 2020, in the midst of a pandemic that had threatened to take out the whole world, Ryan reunited with his family for the first time in 17 years. Tatum's son, Sean McEnroe, who she shares with her ex-husband, John McEnroe, shared a photo of his grandfather, his mother, and 2 brothers on Instagram, and called it one of the most memorable photos of his life. "This is one of the most memorable photos of my life. The last time we were all together was at the 30-year Paper Moon anniversary in 2003. I could cry tears of gratitude that everyone in this photo is still alive and that we were all able to come together again after so many years of hardship. The entire West Coast is burning, but if the O'Neals can reconcile, truly anything is possible," Sean wrote, referencing the wildfires occurring across California, Oregon, and Washington at the time. Despite their decades of estrangement, Tatum had previously said that the death of Fawcett in 2009 helped her and her father mend their relationship. "She brought us back together," Tatum said in 2010, adding of her father, "He told me he's sorry. He's all I have in terms of family, and I needed him in my life. My dad was absolutely everything to me." In any case, despite the strained relationship that Ryan had with his children, he was lucky enough to have gotten a second chance at fixing his relationship with some of his kids before he died. Not many fathers get that. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.